products in foodstuffs, beverages, cosmetics, child products, toys, electronic equipment, spare parts of cars, of even airplanes. And there are increasingly incidents, not only in third countries, but also in Europe, where European citizens are injured, where European citizens suffer health problems because of toxic ingredients in counterfeit products, because of security standards not being complied with by counterfeit products, etc. But moreover, counterfeiting and piracy has also wider societal implications, because counterfeiting and piracy, first of all, leads to significant tax losses, which is particularly important at a time where there are so many constraints on public budgets. We have unfortunately no figures for Europe, but tax losses in the US alone are estimated to amount in 2009 to 60 billion US dollars. Now, if you consider that we could have similar losses in Europe, you will understand the importance of the fight against counterfeiting and piracy. And finally, there is clear evidence of the link of counterfeiting and piracy with organized crime. So if you buy, as a consumer, in one of our beautiful cities in Italy, for instance, in the streets, a fake Gucci handbag or a fake Dolce & Gabbana sunglasses, you are actually financing international organized crime and maybe even international terrorism. And that also needs to be better known. We have put into place a number of initiatives in Europe, including the creation of a European observatory on counterfeiting and piracy, which should lead to more evidence-based policy making and which should also help to change the perception of counterfeiting and piracy in the public opinion and with policymakers. And let me then finally come to the last panel this afternoon, which is copyright in the digital economy. Now, copyright and the digital economy are not necessarily in a love relationship. Many in the digital economy think that copyright is not fit for the digital economy and hampers progress and technological development and the development of new and innovative services. On the other hand, many content industries think that the digital economy and the internet are a big threat and risk for them, and that's the internet who is the source of their economic difficulties and who is eroding their revenues. But we in the Commission, we think that copyright and the internet can work very, very well together, that the copyright can be adapted to not hamper but to foster the digital economy, and that the internet and online services can become a new revenue stream for the content industries. But something is certain. Investments need to be protected everywhere, in the bricks and mortar economy like in the digital economy. We cannot, as some tend to think, assume that on the internet everything should be for free. We need efficient copyright protection also in the digital world. But on the other hand, we need to adapt copyright. We will briefly, in the European Commission, adapt a communication on copyright in the knowledge-based economy. And there we will propose some actions to adapt copyright in order to make it better fit for the digital economy. Among those will be an initiative on orphan works. These are those copyright-protected works of which the author is not known or cannot be located. In the case of orphan works, it is difficult or impossible to proceed with digitization of these works and to make them available in online libraries. The British Library alone estimates that 40% of the books in their library are orphan works. That means 40% of their books currently cannot be digitized and cannot be made available online. 40% of extremely valuable knowledge being locked up. So this we have to change. Ladies and gentlemen, I had to be brief. There is so much to be done and the challenges are great. But I'm looking forward to very interesting discussions in the 3 panels this afternoon, and maybe the panels will come up with new ideas, new input, and maybe also to some of the thorny problems with miracle solutions. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much for a very clear and excellent introduction to the problem that we face this afternoon. What did we want to achieve originally as K4I and Lisbon Forum with this conference, these 2 days here? We wanted to bring innovation to the top of mind, and obviously, given the number of people attending this morning, this afternoon, in 2 parallel sessions, and the number of phone calls that we received of people that wanted to participate and we had to say no to them, yeah, the innovation is top of mind. The sense of urgency is there now. So I think everybody feels it. So what is the second point then, what we want to achieve? We want to achieve an as clear as possible and shared view of the agenda that's facing us for the next couple of years. This particular session on intellectual property rights has a history, and this history is linked to activities of the STOA committee in the Parliament. And to frame the history a little bit, to give a bit of background, I would like first, before we start with the panel, to invite my neighbor Geoffrey Miklos to present us in a few words something of the background of this STOA panel activity.
Thank you, Chairman, for the floor. I would like to highlight very shortly that STOA, the Science and Technology Options Assessment Panel of the European Parliament, is particularly dealing with science and technology issues. As such, has identified during the past legislature IPR, intellectual property rights, as one of the major issues which are dealt with in this context and that may be fed into the parliamentary work, not only because of the importance for innovation, but also because to give a background to parliamentary work. This workshop, which we are working now, is part of a project which is the 3rd in a row of projects which STOA have dealt with. First of all, it was the policy options for the improvement of the European patent system, of which you can find a summary in front. And I would like to highlight certain things which Ms. Fröhlinger has already told very clearly about in this context. Nevertheless, this project did not deal with the community patent because it saw that these are issues. Community patent is something which is a long-standing story and it is a primary immediate political issue. What we dealt with were, and the policy options